So we've got the home group on the line. Mike, Enzo, thanks for joining today.
Our pleasure, Rich.
We've got tons of folks that signed up for the workshop, and they're just itching to find out about the home group and to find out about some of the projects and the unique products that you have to offer the Maryland and beyond community. So, Enzo, tell me a little bit about the home group, what you do, and some of the special things you got going on for our listeners.
Well, the home group is a unique company. We're kind of an all-in-one. We find the properties for you. We help you purchase the properties, and we construct the properties for you as well.
That's unique. So
thank you.
We'll talk a lot about that because I got a lot of questions about that. I'm sure folks that are on the line want to know, especially for folks that are looking to buy their first home, how they can take advantage of some of the special things that are associated with that product. So, Mike, tell me a little bit about what you do, your background, and what you do with the home group.
I'm head of acquisitions for the home group. So what I do is I identify properties that we feel have a good resale value after we rehab them. So we consider ourselves like a wholesale direct company almost. We try to use the strategies that investors use to make a profit, pass that on to the end buyer so they can get into a good home in a good equity position.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So you basically acquire all the properties that are going to be marketed towards the buyers, and then you assist them with this special program in the initial phases of the rehab, so they can select the products and do all the color picking and all that good stuff.
Yes, that is true, Rich. We have an in-house interior design center where our clients can come and pick out everything from soup to nuts from their house for their house.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So walk me through that. Like if I I'm a realtor, right? And
sure.
I have a buyer, they're looking at a lot of rehab properties, and you know how rehabs are. There's rehabs and then there's rehabs, right?
Correct.
Why should someone come to you instead of getting a product that's already done?
Well, they can actually customize it themselves, and we think that's the biggest thing. They can actually come and pick the coloring of the flooring, the coloring of their bathrooms, the tiles. They can actually pick from, I believe, 5 different choices of kitchen cabinets. They have a whole array of colors for their backsplash. They have different types of sinks. They have different types of everything is just different that they can choose, and we feel that customizable houses are what people want this generation of people. We feel that it gives them a sense of empowerment, and it gives them a sense of pride when they can actually tell their friends that they chose what they wanted.
Yeah. It's funny. I just my son has a client that they've been looking at houses for a few months. They just didn't find anything that fit all of their needs. So they decided to look at some new construction homes.
Sure.
And so now, Dorian is representing them, and he's sort of like working with Ryan to build their home. Right. And the experience, I think, is exciting for the buyer because now they're involved in the construction process. They're involved in what they want things to look like, and they feel like they have more control over design and also tweaking the footprint of the property, right? So I'm sure
I believe we take that even a step further. Because we don't. I know that Ryan and other home companies, what they do is they go in one time and they pick everything. So what we do is step by step and phase by phase of the construction. We have the customer come in and choose then. So when our construction manager tells us that the floor is ready to be put in, we immediately call up the customer.
Right.
We tell them to please come in, and they choose it then, and then they can actually see it being put down, laid down. And everybody gets a hard hat when they come in. Everybody gets a yellow jacket, and they really feel a part of it. And that's where we feel it's a big difference. It's phase by phase, so they can see exactly how things are going to mesh together in the house.
Do you have spec properties that are already done that they could walk through to get ideas of what the finished product may look like?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, we do. But once they get sold, then we don't.
Right.
So occasionally we don't have those homes.
Right.
We do not keep inventory. We try to get in this business. Our business model is keep getting rid of inventory and just keep purchasing new ones.
That's excellent. So if someone, you basically have properties that you have in inventory. If there may or may not be a spec property, you have the showroom. I'm sure you have like before and after pictures that you show folks. What about the budgeting? How does that work?
Budgeting for the purchase or budgeting for the construction?
Budgeting for the person who wants granite versus this type of product.
Well, we always do granite. We have 4 sets of granite that they can choose from. It's kind of everybody says it's cookie cutter, but it's not, because each house is different.
Right.
But we only use top quality products, and we wouldn't sell a house without a top quality product in it.
Okay.
So we wouldn't give them chlorine or anything like that. We do it really the nice way.
So coming in, they're going to get top of the line stuff.
Correct.
Top of the line cabinets, top of the line counters, fixtures, and everything.
Absolutely.
They basically don't even need a budget, because they can pick.
It's a set budget. It's a set budget. We have things that are already laid out, and the price is already laid out. So it's $208,000 to like $225,000. So if you want a little of a thicker granite, you want a nicer bathroom,
right?
Nicer tile in your kitchen, it's going to be in the higher level. If you want stainless steel appliances, it's going to be on the higher end of it. But even our lower end 208,000 house is still around the same amount of money. I mean, the same amount of product.
That's excellent. So they get to choose the property itself and the interior items. What about financing? Traditional financing, or anything
we usually do a 203K.
Okay, so the buyer would need to get a 203K loan, and then everything else is standard from there. You guys would serve as the contractor, is that right?
Our company would serve as the contractors most of the time.
80% of the time.
But if we get too busy, we start subbing it out then, yes.
Okay, all right, cool. And you have relationships with lenders that do 203Ks already, I'm assuming?
We absolutely do, Rich.
Okay. And how's that process? Is it any different from getting a traditional pre-approval?
No, it is not.
Okay.
No, it is not.
So buyers should not be intimidated by that at all.
Intimidated, if anything, I feel that they should take advantage of it.
Okay.
Intimidation is not the right word. I think if you have the right construction company and the right person guiding you, like you, Rich, and I know that you know about it as well. I mean, I'm sure that they wouldn't have any adverse reaction to going for a 203K.
Okay, that's perfect. Then what about incentives? I'm sure that some of these properties may, depending upon location, have incentives or credits or, something that is above and beyond what the traditional purchase would be somewhere else.
I'm going to give you the mic on that one.
All right.
I do try to identify properties that have incentives, particularly in Baltimore City. There are quite a few different incentives available. Some of the ones that I favor and I like to go after are the CHAP tax credits. Community Historic Architectural Preservation is what it stands for. If we take some of the beautiful row homes in Baltimore and we rehab them to their historic beauty, you are rewarded for that by a tax rebate. Your property taxes will be evaluated on the prior value of the home before you rehabbed it. So in most instances, that number is somewhere between $17,500 and $25,000. It's stepped up over a 10-year period to the actual value of your home. It is hard to say what that number actually is that you save, but a fair estimate is about $30,000 worth of taxes are saved over the course of the 10-year credit. Some of the other incentives that we like to go after is the MHT tax credit. That's money available from the Maryland Historic Trust. It's also a historical preservation incentive. Goes a few steps further than the CHAP tax credit, but it's not too crazy. What that will allow you is the Maryland Historic Trust will refund you 20% of the rehab costs of your home over the course of the next 5 years in the form of a tax credit. Our typical rehab is about $125,000 to $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
You can estimate that at about a $30,000 value there. If you do choose to sell the house before the 5-year period is up, the remainder of the funds available to you will go to the new buyer, and that'll be available to them the next tax year in full. They won't have to wait for the rest of the time like you may have. So it's a great incentive if you do want to get out of the house a little bit early. It's a good way to get that house on the market and get it sold. There's also a lot of other programs in Baltimore City, Live Where You Work programs. That does depend on who your employer is and where the house is located, but it's
Right.
worth looking into. If it was a prior vacant, there's a $10,000 vacant to value booster program available to you. All you have to do is go to, I think it's a 6-hour course. You qualify for that. And typically when we do a home, we offer a $10,000 builder rebate as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, right there you have somewhere in the neighborhood of about $80,000 worth of incentives to purchase one of these row homes in Baltimore. That being said, those incentives are spread out over a number of years, but it is quite a lot of money that you're getting back for your investment. And it does put you in a great equity position down the line.
That's roughly, listening to the lists of incentives and rebates and the monetary amounts, anywhere between 25 to 30% of the purchase price in rebates.
Yes.
You can't get that anywhere else.
No, you cannot.
Okay. So that's huge. Even if it's spread out over a few years, it's still huge because you can look to recoup that back as a guarantee for holding the property. What about investors? It sounds like this may be something that an investor that wants to buy a property for cash flow can potentially take advantage of, especially with savings like that. Is that permissible with some of these properties?
Absolutely.
Not all of them, but certain of them aren't, though.
Well, that's my job. When someone comes in and tells me what they want, that's my job to identify a property that fits their needs.
Okay.
An investor that's looking for a property that he can rent, he's never even going to know about the properties that don't fit his needs because there's no reason for that.
Okay.
Plenty of rental income properties in Baltimore. There's plenty of opportunities. And again, that's my job to identify those properties and bring them to investors' attention.
That's great. So let me ask you this. So if someone wants a particular location, it sounds like you guys have access to probably inventory that a lot of other developers don't have access to.
Well, that's not necessarily true. We have access to exactly what they have access to.
Mm-hmm.
We just know how to take advantage of it a little bit more. Or I don't know if that's the right word. We know how to extract them a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm losing you again, Mike, for some reason. I don't know.
that kind of fits into our business model of passing the savings on to the customer.
Okay.
That's what we offer here. So we do everything in one. We are the construction company. We find the property. So we're usually, if you go through this process with somebody else, you're basically getting middleman every step of the way. The construction is $125,000, but you're getting $135,000.
Right.
It's $25,000, but you're getting $35,000. And there's a lot of people taking bits and pieces here and there. So one of the advantages of us having it all in house, I don't have to make a big chunk of money off of every step. All I need to do is make a reasonable amount of profit off of every step. I do well. The investor or the homeowner does well.
Right.
And we aim to always get people into homes with at least $10,000 to $15,000 worth of equity behind them, rather than your traditional purchase of a home. You walk into that home about $10,000 underwater, basically, by the time you pay taxes and your closing costs and things.
You're not behind the 8 ball when you go with us.
Right. Right. It sounds like you definitely are selling equity with each transaction.
That is our goal. The only time that there's not equity available, some homeowners do choose to soak up that equity in upgrades and things of that nature. And then what happens is they wind up getting a much nicer house than they would have at price point somewhere else. So it's all up to the homeowner or the investor how they want to use that value. I always suggest keep it in equity, but different people are in different financial situations. That's a decision that they have to make.
Okay. So what are some of the areas in Baltimore? I know you guys have done a lot of properties in Baltimore. Can you just tell me about some of the communities, some of the neighborhoods that you've already developed? And maybe some of the projects that are ongoing now?
Sure. We've been very heavily involved in the renovation of the east side of Baltimore over by Johns Hopkins. They're doing a $9 billion project there with some 11 brand new research and development laboratories. And as a result of that, residential housing around that area is becoming more valuable. There's also some other areas of the city. Highlandtown, for example, is one of the areas in the city that's up and coming right now. It's bridging the gap with Canton and Brewer's Hill there. So that's an area that's a little bit more up and coming right now. What else is good?
Some of the projects we've actually worked on was Preston Street, 1700 Preston Street.
Right.
Biddle Street.
1500 block of Broadway. For our purposes, from my dollar is heavily invested in East Baltimore. However, I work here, I live here, so that's okay. Some customers that might not fit their needs geographically. So what we'll do is we'll use the same methods that we use to identify properties in those areas, and we'll take those methods and look for properties that fit our criteria in other areas. Right. So just because I've never worked there before, I've never been there before, doesn't mean that I can't identify a property for you.
Right.
We'll allow the budget for a good rehab and get you in a similar financial situation that we're speaking about and what goes on in East Baltimore.
Okay.
We just acquired 11 houses, I believe, 11 houses on the 2000
block of Preston Street, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good. That's a significant amount of inventory, and that's a lot of flexibility for someone who's looking to live in an area that's up and coming or already established where they can have a turnkey property and be fully involved in the development process to customize it the way they want it to look and feel. That's perfect. What else? What else is something that folks should know? That because we've got folks on that are really curious about this, because I'm sure this is probably something that they've never heard of before. I know that it's new to me. Most developers will just go in and they have their own vision. They do what's within their budget. And to be honest, a lot of the rehab products and a lot of the residential development products, they're all the same. Usually developers will get a particular scheme, design, and that's what they run with. You guys are including the buyer early on in a lot of different places within the process, being it from selecting the property itself all the way up to selecting interior fixtures and design, and giving them access to all of these incentives. So
I really believe that's what sets us apart, Rich, from our competition. And that's why we're thriving in the area, because we do things differently and we want to treat people differently. And we think that people do deserve a really nice home at a decent price.
As a developer, you do get complacent with your choices and your styles. It's natural. So that's why we like to engage the customer and tap into them for inspiration, make a unique home, and continue to change, upgrade, and stay with the time. Because it does happen. It happens to everybody, and that's why we like to get the customer involved and get their feedback and opinion.
In the past year, if you read about it, brand new homes, Lennar Homes and Ryland Homes, their sales have been slowing because people don't want the same cookie cutter homes. They want their input to be put into their homes. A lot of people are buying fixer-uppers now.
Wow. All right, so I've got some questions that came in. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. I'm just going to go over a few of them. We have a whole bunch of them. The first one is, how many properties have you done and how long have you been in Baltimore?
We've been in Baltimore around 3 years. We've done 15 on Broadway, 4 on, how many we did on Preston? 6.
We did 4. We were heavily involved in all different facets of about 22 homes on Preston Street.
Okay.
We did it in conjunction with a charity, TRF, and part of their mission statement was to use local contractors and help build businesses in the area.
Uh-huh.
We didn't do every home on the block. We assisted some of those local contractors, some of those up-and-coming guys in building their business and getting their feet on the ground as well. So we did about 4 ourselves, and then again we assisted in various capacities on the rest of the homes on the block. If I'm not mistaken, I think there were 20 units on that block.
Correct.
In its entirety.
And
We facilitated the purchase of 14 homes on the 1500 block of Broadway.
mm-hmm.
We did the Washington Street, the demo on the Washington Street project.
We've done quite a
in the county. We've done around 15 in the county.
Homes in the county.
Okay, excellent. So you do the county as well. It's not just the city.
Well, we that was when we first started, and now we're trying to move away from the county because we can't fully customize the house
Right.
like we can in the city.
Okay.
And our model is definitely becoming customizable homes for the customer.
And what's the typical process like? We have a question is how long does it take from start to finish?
Depending on where we purchase the home from, there are a lot of state and actually federally owned homes. Those are the best value. However, there is a little bit of lag time in acquiring those properties. It may take 3 months to acquire one of those properties. From that point, as long as the customer's funding is in line as far as their approval with their 203K and things of that nature, we can complete a property. I can complete a property in 2 months, but I'm going to promise you that it's going to be done in 4 months. Like, push it for the unforeseen.
So it sounds like the typical, because now with all the changes to the HUD-1 and all that title restructuring, 60 days is usually the minimum to close if you're financing. So it's not that out of the norm. You can, if your average is 3 to 4 months, that's pretty typical, even for a regular purchase that doesn't include any rehab stuff. So that's
correct.
There's no delay at all, it sounds like. Well, that's
correct.
Great. That's great. And then any special title work or anything on the title side that's unique about doing it with the 203K, or that stuff is pretty much standard as well? Pretty
much standard as far as we know. It's pretty much standard. It's relatively all the same.
All the same. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, any last words? It sounds like you guys have a bang up product, and we're definitely going to share all of your information, and we'll have just highlights of this on the Real Smart site so that folks can get in touch with you directly, both of you, Mike and Enzo, and
sure.
Have links to maybe some of your projects and anything that you want to share. But is there anything in closing that you want to say to the audience so that they can either take advantage of something that is just for them on the call or anything like that?
Absolutely, Rich. First of all, we want to thank you for your time and appreciate letting us on your show and getting our company out there and letting people know about us. And we really appreciate you, Rich. And to show our appreciation to you, Rich, we want to give, for your customers only who watch this video, we're going to give them a $10,000 rebate on any home that they purchase from us. And that's only because you've given us this shot, Rich, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, wow. So that's significant. So, I mean, Mike came up with almost, it sounds like 80,000 in incentives, and you're sweetening the pot with another 10,000 directly from the home group?
That is correct.
So that's like almost potentially $90,000.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm sure this offer is not going to be open at any time just because they were on the call. They have to take action, I'm assuming, within a time period, it sounds like.
Well, why don't you tell us, Rich, how you feel your customers should be treated?
I tell you what, this is what I'm going to do. Everyone that is on the call, they had to sign up and register. If they registered and they logged on And we've got that. And so just for the participants that are on this live broadcast, what we'll do is we'll send them, okay, a $10,000 coupon redeemable for this year.
That absolutely sounds great. And we'd also like to extend, we'll even pay $125 towards your title.
Wow. Okay. And you have a particular title company that you like to work with?
I do. It's called Olympus Title.
Okay. And that 125 is redeemable through Olympus.
That's correct.
So that's
correct.
Basically, that's pretty good. That's excellent.
Right. We'll give you $125 towards the. I guess it's the purchase of the house, and it'll be taken off the price of the title company of your closing costs.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And if you don't mind, Rich, send them out a certificate for that as well.
Okay.
And I think that that's about it, right?
That's perfect. I mean, I can't ask for anything more. You just gave away the bank, it sounds like. I mean,
I'm going to hear a lot about this. I'm going to tell you that.
I know it's a lot of people.
I know Mikey's hitting me under the table, just so you know.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Enzo. I appreciate the home group. I appreciate Mike tolerating you giving away half the bank, because I could see it all over his face. But I appreciate you because I'm sure that the folks that are on the call, are going to take advantage of this. I
hope they do.
Especially since.
Tell them there's a hard hat with their name on it waiting for them.
Okay, definitely. And in fact, maybe at some point, in addition to the certificate and everything we'll send out, when you have a product that's already done, maybe I'll just send everyone an invitation to come do a tour.
Absolutely. That would be a phenomenal thing. That would be a phenomenal idea.
Okay, so you and I can coordinate that, and then maybe we can set up maybe a Saturday or something. And just let everyone know maybe a week in advance, and they can register for the tour, bring their friends or whatever, and they can, put sort of a real touch and feel to the information they received today.
Absolutely. And then after that, they can actually come to the office and see the Interior Design Center as well, and go through an actual buying process without even buying the house, just to see how it is.
In fact, you know what? I would love to do that because I want to see the showroom, right? And I would love to see the showroom and the product and the process and everything. So this is something I'm going to make a priority, not only for folks that are on the call. For folks that are on the call, they're getting the 10 grand, they're getting the 125. But for other folks too that are just working with us and looking in general, I'm going to invite them too, if that's fine.
Can you see that?
Yes, indeedy. Oh, that's a hat for me.
That's one for you, buddy.
All right, that's my hat.
It's for you.
Look, you guys have been great. The information that you shared today is going to go a long way, I'm sure. It's going to help folks that are on the borderline, technically, because there's some folks that are really close to being able to buy. And I think this is going to push a lot of people over that line, right, that want to be in the city or want to become homeowners and take advantage of a lot of the incentives that you talked about, and still feel like they don't have to settle, right? Because sometimes people, just to get a house, sometimes they end up settling a lot, right?
Absolutely.
Going through your process, it doesn't sound like there's much settling. There's more upside than anything else. In addition to picking out what you want, you definitely moving in with equity. So I definitely love that. So, I want to thank you both for sharing what you do, what you're passionate about with our audience. And I'm just glad to be the nexus to sort of expose my folks to you guys and vice versa, so that, you can deliver your product that is unique to folks that need it the most. And again, thank you. And I appreciate you taking time out of your extremely busy schedule, because I know that you both are definitely short on time, especially do things like this. And it's not often that, we get to do this. I think it's going to go a long way. So again, thanks. And I really appreciate everything you said today. And I'll do my best to share it with everyone that I know.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate you letting us get our message out there, Rich.
All right, guys. All right. I won't take up much more of your time. I'll let you guys go. All right, buddy. I'll see you guys later, man. Again, thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care, Rich.